Good morning and welcome to Habitats of Utah. I'm your guide, Wetlands Wait, and today we're going to be exploring the wetlands of Utah. But first, let's review our other two habitats that we have, the mountains and the desert. What makes a desert? Desert habitats are at lower elevations and get very little water, only 10 inches or less per year. That's not very much water. They also go between hot and cold extremes. And what about our mountain habitats? Mountains are obviously much higher elevation, and so as we go up, the temperature gets cooler. Cooler temperatures a lot of times also mean more rain and more snow. There are a lot of trees and other plants that grow there and animals that live there. While both mountains and deserts are extremely interesting and have a lot of very cool plants and animals, today we are talking about wetlands. When I think of wetlands, I think of Florida and the Everglades with crocodiles and alligators and hanging branches. I knew I should have brought better protection. No, the truth is, in Utah, our wetlands are a little bit different. We don't have as many hanging branches and trees, we don't have the Everglades, and we don't have alligators and crocodiles. So what do we have in Utah's wetlands? That means if I had 1 gallon of water from the Great Salt Lake, 4 cups of it would be salt. That's a lot of salt. Because it's so salty, there aren't as many things that live in the Great Salt Lake as other wetlands. Brine shrimp, brine flies, and algae. But the area surrounding them, the wetlands part, has 75% of Utah's wetlands and is home to lots of trees, plants, animals, and birds. Most of Utah's wetlands are found near lakes, streams, rivers, or marshes, an area where there's resting water. If you've ever been boating or fishing or to any of the places with water, you've probably seen some of these plants and animals that live in our wetlands. Let's take a look at some right now. 2 of the main plants that we will find in wetlands are cattails and bulrushes. Cattails are a long grass-like plant with a fuzzy brown head that eventually turns into seeds, just like that one is doing right now. Bulrushes are these long reeds in the rest of the pond area. They can grow very tall, sometimes even taller than wetlands wait. There are other plants here, different trees, shrubs, and other vegetation that help the wetlands. One of the main purposes of plants in wetlands is to act like a sponge. It keeps water here in the wetlands so it doesn't flood other places. Another thing it does that is very important is that it cleans our water. Like a sponge, it keeps some of the damaging things back from the water and lets the clean water pass through. Come with me as we take a closer look at some of Utah's wetlands. Although you can't see them all right now, I think they must be hiding. The wetlands are home to a lot of Utah's animals. It is home to quite a few of Utah's birds, from migratory birds that leave in the wintertime to the ducks that live here. It is also home to many amphibians like salamanders and frogs. There are also many fish that live in the waters of the wetlands, like trout and catfish. Also, there are lots of pesky bugs. I'm sure you've been bitten by a mosquito before. Those definitely live in Utah's wetlands. There are also moths, butterflies, and other insects that make the wetlands their home. These wetlands are important because they are home to so many of the animals of Utah. It's important to protect them and the plants and the important role they have here. I hope you've enjoyed our field trip to Wetlands of Utah. Make sure to look for wetlands around you, and help to keep them safe.